Imagine buying a premium laptop, but the company completely hides what processor is actually inside it. For 8 months, users had no idea they were holding a machine secretly running an impossible technology. Everyone believed that heavy international blockades had finally crushed this massive tech giant forever. But a quiet, hidden software update just exposed their true motive, and the reality of what is coming next will completely shock you. This is exactly what happened with one of the most mysterious tech products in recent history. When a major technology company releases a flagship computer, they usually scream about the processor specifications from the rooftops. They want you to know exactly how fast it is and who made the chip. But things played out very differently for Huawei and its highly debated computing lineup. People bought the flagship laptop, but users spent months not knowing what powered the laptop, which had launched in mid-2025. There was no sticker on the box. There was no branding on the chassis. Even the system settings menu hid the true name of the hardware running the machine. For a long time, the tech community was left in the dark, forced to guess and run custom benchmark tests just to figure out what was happening inside their own computers. The silence was loud, and it pointed to something much bigger happening behind closed doors. Then, the curtain was suddenly pulled back. A Harmony OS 6.0.13 SP13 update in early Feb 2026 quietly exposed Huawei Kirin X90 in the MateBook Pro's system info for the first time. It was a massive moment. The tech world finally had a name for the silicon driving the machine. This was not an Intel chip. This was not an AMD chip. It was a fully custom, in-house processor. When the technical details finally leaked out to the public, they gave us a very clear picture of what the engineers had been working on. Specs match your draft. A 4+4+2 configuration with 20-thread architecture and a 4.2 GHz max frequency, using Huawei's own GPU and NPU. For anyone who does not speak heavy tech jargon, a 4+4+2 configuration means the chip has 4 big performance cores for heavy tasks, 4 medium cores for regular work, and 2 small efficiency cores to save battery life. But what makes this even more interesting is the 20-thread architecture. In simple terms, a thread is like a virtual pathway that allows the processor to handle multiple instructions at the exact same time. Having 20 of these pathways means the laptop can juggle a lot of background tasks, like downloading large files, running security scans, and keeping multiple heavy web browser tabs open without freezing or stuttering. A 4.2 GHz maximum frequency speed is very respectable for a modern laptop, allowing it to handle daily professional work smoothly. However, some very sharp observers noticed that this chip was not actually a complete surprise. While the laptop update made headlines, the naming pattern had already leaked slightly earlier in a different device. The MatePad Edge already listed Kirin X90 series back in November 2025. Still, seeing it officially running a full desktop-class machine was a major milestone for a company operating under heavy international trade restrictions. But the story did not end with just a quiet software update. Fast forward a few months, and the strategy changed from total secrecy to public confidence. As of July 29, 2026, Huawei publicly named its next 2 PC chips, the Kirin X90 Plus and Kirin Xe90, from a stage for the first time ever. This was a massive shift in their public relations. It was the first time the company stood in front of an audience to announce a clear, future roadmap for their laptop chips. The hardware matching these new chips followed very quickly. The new 2026 MateBook Pro now ships with the Kirin X90 Plus and Harmony OS 6.1, sustaining a claimed 40-watt performance level via a foam copper vapor chamber cooler. A 40-watt sustained performance means the laptop can run heavy tasks like video editing or software coding for a long time without overheating and slowing down. The foam copper cooling system is a highly advanced way to pull heat away from the processor to maintain this speed. Yet, even with this grand public reveal, the company kept some cards hidden close to their chest. While they shared the names and the cooling capacity, Huawei still hasn't published core config, clock speeds, or iGPU specs for it. They told the world the chip exists, but they did not share the exact mathematical details of how it operates. This lack of detail makes it very difficult to perfectly compare the new chips against the latest processors from Western companies. Because of this missing data, not everyone in the technology industry is convinced that these chips are taking over the world just yet. The internet is full of extreme claims about these new processors destroying the competition. But the ground reality is much more balanced. Tech Power-Up's blunt read is that Huawei's homegrown CPUs did not impress so far. While creating a working laptop chip from scratch is a massive engineering achievement, the raw computing power is still catching up to the giants of the industry. The biggest limitation comes down to the physical manufacturing of the chips. Modern computer chips are measured in nanometers. The smaller the number, the more tiny switches called transistors you can pack into the chip. More transistors make the processor faster and much more power efficient. Currently, the top chip makers in the world are moving toward the 2nm level. But the internal factories do not have access to that level of manufacturing. Instead, both the X90 Plus and Xe90 reportedly stay on SMIC's 7nm process, trailing TSMC's 2nm node by 3 to 4 generations. A 7 nanometers chip is entirely capable of running a modern computer well. You can browse the web, edit photos, and write complex code on a 7 nanometers processor without any major issues. But it will naturally use more battery power and generate more heat than a 2 nanometers processor doing the exact same task. So while the new laptops are highly functional, they are not completely erasing the hardware gap overnight. To bridge this massive manufacturing gap, a company needs a very specific, highly complex machine called an extreme ultraviolet lithography system, commonly known as EUV. These machines use light to print incredibly tiny microscopic patterns onto silicon wafers. Right now, one single company in the Netherlands named ASML controls the entire global market for these advanced machines. Because of international trade rules, Huawei and its partner factories cannot buy these machines. This brings us to the most exaggerated part of the current technology news cycle. Many voices on the internet claim that the Chinese tech giant has already built its own perfect EUV machine and solved all of its manufacturing problems. The real truth is much more complicated and requires a look at hard facts, not rumors. There is genuine, serious research happening in this space. Reports from March 2025 said an LDP-based EUV system was being tested at a Huawei facility in Dongguan. LDP stands for laser-induced discharge plasma. It is a specific method used to generate the extreme light required to print small chips. This test proved that the company is actively spending money and time trying to build their own chip-making tools. However, testing a prototype is completely different from running a commercial factory. The math simply does not add up yet for mass production. According to technical data, the Harbin LDP system reportedly outputs around 100 watts of EUV power versus ASML's 600 watt. This massive difference in power output directly limits how fast and how well a machine can print chips. Furthermore, analysts say LDP is physically hard to scale higher, which is why it's normally used for things like defect inspection, not actual chip lithography. When you're inspecting a chip for errors, a lower power light source is perfectly fine. But when you need to print millions of chips quickly to sell in laptops around the world, you need raw, sustained power. The light must be strong enough to quickly burn the pattern into the chemical layer on the silicon wafer. If the light is too weak, it takes too long to print one single chip, making the entire factory far too slow to make any money. Even optimistic 2025 reporting pegged LDP prototypes at 50 to 100 WUG against a roughly 250 WUG minimum needed for commercial EUV lithography. The current technology is simply producing 5 to 6 times less power than what is strictly required to run a profitable chip factory. So, if the Dongguan tests are not ready for mass production, what is the actual long-term plan? The real progress is happening quietly, far away from the public stage, involving a completely different engineering approach. A December 2025 Reuters report said a team of former ASML engineers working in a high-security Shenzhen lab completed an EUV prototype built by reverse engineering an ASML machine. Reverse engineering a machine that has over 100,000 components and weighs 180 tons is an incredibly difficult task. It is not something that happens in a few months. The people working on this project understand the immense scale of the challenge they are facing. Because of this complexity, even that team's own realistic timeline is working chips by 2030. Not now. This 2030 timeline is the most important fact to remember when reading about new laptop processors. The current Kirin X90 Plus and Kirin Xe90 chips are impressive examples of engineering under pressure, but they are still being made with older 7 nanometers technology. The magic bullet of a fully independent, homegrown EUV machine is still years away from actually sitting on a factory floor producing commercial silicon. While the hardware side of the story is fighting an uphill battle against physics and supply chains, there is another very important layer to this laptop launch. The most critical element of the new computers might not be the physical chip itself, but the software running on top of it. This tight integration helps mask the performance gap caused by the older 7 nanometers manufacturing process. This strategy of controlling both the brain of the computer and the software it runs is a massive shift in how the PC industry usually works. For decades, the standard has been combining a chip from one company with an operating system from another company. By moving everything in-house, the overall efficiency of the device improves significantly. The battery lasts longer. The machine runs cooler, and basic tasks feel instantly responsive. The foam copper cooling mentioned earlier works hand in hand with this software optimization. When Harmony OS detects that you are doing something simple, like typing a document, it tells the Kirin chip to use the small efficiency cores. This keeps the heat low. When you launch a video editor, the software instantly wakes up the 4 big performance cores, and the physical vapor chamber steps in to handle the sudden burst of heat. This kind of deep hardware and software teamwork is exactly what makes the 40-watt performance claim possible. When you look at the entire picture clearly, the story of the new MateBook Pro and its processors is fascinating, but it needs to be grounded in reality. The ability to design, test, and mass-produce a 20-thread processor like the Kirin X90 while completely cut off from normal global supply chains is a very real technical achievement. Launching a public roadmap with the X90 Plus and XE90 shows that the company has a stable plan for the future of its computers. But the loud claims of instant victory over trade restrictions ignore the hard, unbending rules of semiconductor manufacturing. The gap between 7 nanometers and 2 nanometers remains large. The power required to run a commercial EUV machine remains out of reach for current domestic prototypes. The true test will not be what happens today, but whether the secret lab in Shenzhen can actually turn a reverse-engineered prototype into a functioning factory machine by the end of the decade. Until then, the new laptops stand as a highly capable bridge between the technology of the past and the ambitions of the future.